In the spring of 1451, precipice of history, Constantinople, the fabled queen of cities, had eluded Ottoman grasp for generations. But Mehmed was not his father. When Murad II had sought stability, Mehmed craved immortality. His first act as Sultan was not a declaration of war, but a master stroke of diplomacy. He signed treaties with Venice, Hungary, and Serbian diplomats, ensuring their neutrality. To the Byzantines, he offered honeyed woods, renewing their truce, all while tightening the noose. Emperor Constantine XI, no fool, sensed the deception. Desperate, he threatened to release Mehmed's cousin Orhan, a pretender to the Ottoman throne, unless the Sultan doubled Byzantine's annual tribute. Mehmed's response was chilling. "You may keep your pretender. The throne I had need no coins to secure it." The trap was set. By provoking Constantine, Mehmed manufactured a casus belli, painting Byzantium as an aggressor. In Edirne, the Ottoman war machine stirred. Blacksmiths forged swords day and night, farmers sold their grain to army quartermaster, and in the hill of Thrace, Mehmed's engineer began to work on a fortress that would change the course of seas, Rumilisari. Rising on the European shore of the Bosphorus, its 30-foot walls and 17 towers stood opposite the Anatolian castle of Andalusari. Together they formed twin jaws clamping the shut on Constantinople's throat. While Byzantine envoy protested, Mehmed feigned innocence. "I built on my own land, or does your emperor claim dominion over the winds and water?" The fortress cannon, trained on the strait, gave his true answer. By autumn 1452, no ship could pass without Ottoman permission. Constantinople began to starve. War in the 15th century was a contest of wills and the gunpowder. Mehmed understood this better than any ruler of his age. He scoured Europe for engineers, promising gold and glory to those who could breach the Theodosian wall. Among them was Urban, a Hungarian metalsmith who had once offered his service to Byzantium. Rejected by Constantine for his exorbitant fee, Urban defected to the Ottomans, vowing to build a gun to pierce the gates of heaven itself. The result was the Baliska, a 27-foot bronze behemoth weighing 18 tons. Its barrel, cast in Adrianople's foundries over 3 months, could hurl a 1,500-pound stone ball over a mile. Transporting it to Constantinople required 60 oxen and 400 men. When tested, its thunderous roar reportedly caused pregnant women in nearby village to miscarry. Mehmed, watching the first shot, whispered, "This is the voice of God." But the cannon was fickle beast. It took 3 hours to reload. Its recoil cracked stone foundations, and when it overheated, Ottoman engineers doused it in sheep's fat and olive oil, sending plumes of acrid smoke into the air. Yet, for all its flaws, the Baliska was a psychological warfare. Day and night, it pounded Constantinople's wall, each impact shaking the city's resolve. Mehmed's genius lay in his ability to innovate. The Byzantine harbor of Golden Horn, protected by a massive iron chain, was considered impregnable. Ottoman galleries anchored in the Bosphorus could not breach it, so Mehmed turned the earth itself into an ally. On April 1453, under the cover of darkness, thousands of laborers hauled 70 ships over Galata hills, greasing the path with animal fat. By dawn, the Ottoman had bypassed the chain, launching their fleet into the Golden Horn. The Byzantine awoke to the unthinkable. Enemy sailed in the sacred harbor. Panic swept the city. "They walk on the land as they do on the sea," wailed a Greek chronicler. Commanding this audacious maneuver was Baltoglu, a Bulgarian renegade and Mehmed's admiral. Though later scapegoated for naval failures, Baltoglu's fleet kept Byzantine reinforcement at bay, strangling the city's lifeline. When Genoese ships from Chios attempted a breakthrough, Ottoman cannons sank one, capturing its crew. Mehmed, in a calculated display of terror, impaled 40 sailors on stake along the shore. Their writhing bodies sent a clear message: no salvation comes to the Constantinople. The siege began in the earnest on April 6, 1453. Mehmed's army, 80,000 strong, encircled the land walls, facing them with fewer than 7,000 defenders, Greek, Venetians, Genoese, and a handful of Turk loyal to Constantine. Among them was the Giovanni Giustini, a mercenary captain whose genius for defenses would become Mehmed's obsession. For weeks, the Ottoman launched a relentless assault. Escapers dug tunnels to plant mines. The Byzantines flooded them with boiling pitch. Janissaries scaled ladders under the arrow fire. Defenders hurled stones and Greek fires. At night, monks paraded icons along the wall, praying for divine intervention. By day, Mehmed rode among his troops, shouting, "The city is yours. Plunder its treasure. Believe the churches to me." The Sultan mercy was selective. When a band of Serbian miners defected to the Byzantines, Mehmed had the families executed. When a Venetian spy caught, he ordered the men skinned alive. Yet, he also spared prisoners who recited Quran and offered safe passage to those who renounced Christ. "Fear is my weapon," he told to his vizier, "but wisdom must temper it." By late May, both sides neared collapse. The Ottomans, demoralized by failed attacks, grumbled about desertion. The Byzantines, surviving on rotten bread and hope, whispered of a phantom fleet from Rome. Mehmed faced a revolt among his commanders. "We must withdraw," argued Halil Pasha, his old rival. "Winter comes and the West will send aids." Mehmed's response was a masterclass in leadership. Summoning his general, he invoked the legacy of prophets and conquerors. Alexander took the world with 40,000 men. "I offer you 80,000 in paradise. Choose wisely." Then, in a stroke of theatrical brilliance, he produced a handwritten copy of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Hadith. "Verily, Constantinople shall be conquered. How blessed is a commander who conquers it." The next morning, he announced the final assault. To ensure total commitment, he ordered tents burned and bridges dismantled. "There's no retreat," he declared, "only victory or the grave." On May 29, 1453, the attack began at midnight. Drummers pounded a primal rhyme as Ottoman troops surged forward in waves. First, the conscripts, Anatolian peasants armed with ladders meant to exhaust the defender. Then the irregulars, Kurdish archer and Arab swordsmen. Finally, the Janissaries, elite warrior in white turbans, their scimitars gleaming. For hours, Byzantines held. Giustini, commanding the critical Mesopotamian sector, repelled assault after assault, but fate intervened. A misdirected Ottoman cannonball struck a tower near the Blakarne Palace, collapsing a section of the outer wall. Then a small postern gate, the Kerkoporta, was found unbarred. Janissaries poured through the breach. Their cries of Allahu Akbar mingled with the screams of the dying. Giustini, mortally wounded, fled the battle. Constantine XI, casting off his purple robe, plunged into a fray with a common soldier's sword. His body was never found. At dawn, Mehmed entered the city, riding to Hagia Sophia. He dismounted, knelt, and sprinkled dust on his turban, a gesture of humility. Then he ordered the great church, consecrated as a mosque. "Let the world know," he proclaimed, "that God is one. and Mehmed is its servant. The Conqueror's first act was not pillage but pragmatism. To repopulate the city, Mehmed resettled Muslims, Christians, and the Jews across the empire. He invited Greek aristocrats to retain their homes and appointed Gennadius Scholars as Orthodox Patriarch, granting him secular authority. The Grand Bazaar, once a ghostly ruin, soon teemed with Persian silk and Florentine gold. Yet Mehmed's mercy had limits. He executed Venetian prisoners, citing their betrayal of Constantine. Khalil Pasha, accused of treason, was strangled. But the Sultan's vision was clear. Istanbul would be no mere trophy. It would be heart of a universal empire, where East and West fused under the crescent banner. As the call to prayer echoed from Hagia Sophia's minaret, Mehmed rode to Topkapi headland. Gazing at the glittering Bosphorus, he whispered word that would define his reign. At last, I am Caesar.